this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Hello and welcome to Critical Strike, episode 60. Here with me is Josh McNell.
Hello.
And Mr. Pete Dodd.
Hi.
And I'm your host, Kyle Dickman. Gotta slip that in there.
That was terrible, Kyle.
That was terrible.
For our first live episode, that was one of the worst episodes. Well, I can't say live. Live in the flesh, baby.
Baby?
Like Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3.
Hulk Hogan's in Rocky 3?
Yeah.
He played. Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah, he was 3.
I thought he was in... I thought that was, Mr. T.
He was also in it, but Hulk Hogan played Thunderlips at the beginning during the charity wrestling boxing fight.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw Rocky 3. How does that work?
Oh, then shut the
wrestling
fuck
boxing?
up.
Is that like MMA?
No, it was a boxer versus a wrestler.
Yeah, it was like a charity event.
How would
and
that...
it was supposed to be fake, but then Rocky ended up getting his ass kicked or something.
Yeah.
I don't even really remember.
because it's two completely different styles of combat.
Yeah. I think it was just supposed to let you know that Rocky's gone like Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's doing all this stuff.
Because he was completely different in that episode, that movie too. Because he was always kind of the bumbling idiot.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one with the creepy ass robot, right?
Right, and that's one that showed like, oh, I'm now upper class.
Yeah, I saw the last half of that then with Mr. T getting all crazy with the training.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes like the Alps or something to train.
Yeah.
No, that was the Russian. That was 4.
Oh, that's... God damn it. They all blend together.
Alright, well anyways.
This is the Rocky cast.
Yeah. Now that we've been rambling on for a little while, yeah, this is, we always get a question on the show.
Okay.
Have Kyle and I ever met? Mm-hmm. And the answer was always no.
No.
And this is the first time we've ever met, and we're looking actually at each other for the first time.
I am now touching Josh McNell. Paul, I know you're jealous.
I am now touching Pete Dodd, and I actually cracked a fat.
Wow.
So...
I'm not going to touch anybody quite yet. We'll save that for later.
Right. But yeah, it was always weird that we did always get that question, have we ever met? And our response was always no. Sorry to disappoint you, we're a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
And up until now, everybody only knew me as the face mask guy, so...
Face mask and eye shield protector.
No, it was my sunglasses.
So, sunglasses in there?
It was these sunglasses, actually.
Oh, I thought it was some sort of laser protection mask.
Right, well...
Do those protect you from lasers?
These, no.
Then why do you wear them at work?
My sunglasses?
Yeah.
Because light hurts my eyes.
Well, you do have fair eyes, so that does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so... You know, every other podcast that's done it live, they've always had to prove it by slapping somebody.
Oh, fuck that. I'm going over here.
So, no. I'm just saying, you'll have to take our word for it. Maybe we'll post a picture of our little setup.
I could take a picture right now.
No, not with me.
Nancy's 2-pound camera.
Not with me.
Wow, look at that monster.
Look how tiny that screen is.
Just put it away.
Okay. Sorry, it's shiny.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that we could have is Kyle with something shiny, as we've wanted this weekend. But no, we're all here at Funspot for what's become Nerdapalooza 2010.
First annual.
Which was coined by Billy Bo Black, Pete's co-host, mind you.
Mm-hmm. Who no one's ever asked whether we know each other. I think it's very clear on our podcast that we don't.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you guys have a better rapport with each other, where you're kind of like brothers tormenting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of how it's always
I think it speaks to Billy's and I's relationship that no one even wonders or cares if we know each other.
Well, you know, what can you do? I mean, but it works, too, the way that you guys are.
Yeah.
You know, you are complete opposites, whereas Kyle and I were similar in the fact that we have the same taste in games and all that, but
Yeah.
we also like to piss each other off.
Yes.
We know how to push each other's buttons. But here we are at Funspot. We've been playing a bunch of classic games, but I'm going to ask first to do our normal thing. Kyle, what have you been up to?
Not much. Last weekend, which is generally my game playing time, I was down at Wildwood. Wildwood, New Jersey.
Okay.
Visiting Nancy at the shore. But while I was down at the shore with Nancy, she received an email at about 10:50 on Friday night. No, 10:50 on Saturday, mind you. It was 10:50 on Saturday. And it was from World of Warcraft. And it said, hey, click this link, you're in the beta. And I immediately went, oh, that's spam. It has to be spam. Why would you be in the beta? And she went to battle.net, found out she was hacked, unhacked herself, and found out she was in the Cataclysm beta.
How do you unhack yourself?
You just reset the password. It takes like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Versus my ordeal where I deleted my authenticator and had to spend an hour and a half on hold to get asked one question for them to reset it.
Right. Well, you were an idiot. You wiped your phone.
Yeah, I did wipe my phone. It works a lot better now, and Slacker does not crash as often.
Right.
But,
beyond the point. Cataclysm.
Yeah, she got in the Cataclysm beta and proceeded to rub my face in it for about 24 hours while it was downloading and updating and patching, and I got to see a lot of the Worgen stuff, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I recall a barrage of very angry tweets.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was sitting there, and I just would refresh Twitter every 15 minutes, and there was just something else.
See what happens. More spousal abuse.
But, yeah, I've been playing since the month after the game came out. Nancy started playing like 2 years ago, and she got into beta.
Yeah, but it's random.
I know.
It's completely random.
That's what I've been taking solace in, is the fact that it's random, but goddamn.
Oh, there's Danger Wife. Shiny.
I know, but now that
She's not shiny, kind of.
I know she's not shiny, but now that Nancy's hanging out, now I can actually take the beta from her, so I'm going to be playing it.
Right.
I just have to send her a text message and ask for her authenticator code.
Every time?
Every time.
Wow. It's annoying. But, so you haven't had a chance to play?
No, well, I've watched a lot of the playing. I don't know.
You've watched a lot of her playing it?
Yeah, I've watched her playing it a lot.
English is hard.
It is. It are hard.
And, well, before we go further into Cataclysm, though, there's been a lot of Blizzard stuff lately.
There has.
I do want to ask you a question.
Yeah?
Starcraft II.
I played the beta. I don't know if I'm going to buy it.
Really?
I'm probably going to buy it later on down the road. But, I like the first StarCraft, and I like Brood War, but I can't play against people because they beat the shit out of me. So I usually play the computer on easy.
Yeah, but you can join up with, like, me and Pete, and we can go up against the computer. That's what we've done a couple times.
Okay.
But we did do until you got in the Cataclysm beta.
Oh, until I got into the Cataclysm beta.
2 days later.
Right. And then, well, no,
I've seen Josh on StarCraft since.
I got StarCraft and Cataclysm on the same day.
Oh, that's right.
So I played StarCraft while Cataclysm was downloading, and then it was all over.
Okay. You never sent me that trial code.
Oh, yeah, the guest pass.
Does that allow me to play the single player? Because that's really all I'm
I
interested
don't
in.
know.
I think it does, because I gave one to Mick, and he used it, and I think it allowed him to play a little bit of the single player.
Okay.
For like 10 days or something like that. Yeah, I'll send that to you when we
I
get
could
back
probably
home.
beat that game in 10 days.
No. Well, no.
Yeah, it depends how many hours you have to play. But the single player is pretty massive.
They're saying for Wings of Liberty,
Yeah.
it is, yeah. For Wings of Liberty, it's about 20 hours on its own.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's just the Terran campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's just the Terran campaign. Next year, the Zerg campaign comes out.
Oh, that's right. They're...
Yeah, and that's another 20 hours from what they're saying.
Jesus
And then
Christ.
the year after that, the Protoss comes out, and that's another 20 hours, they're saying.
Are they going to release it as a standalone game or just an expansion?
I think it's going to be as an expansion with new multiplayer things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Blizzard knows how to milk a dollar.
But, yeah, it's... It's all over for me in Starcraft, I think, right now, because of Cataclysm. Like, I've tried, and I've logged on to normal WoW, and every time I do, I get, like, a message from Pete or something saying, you're on the wrong WoW. Because he's on my real ID.
Yeah, which is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep real ID limited to people I actually, like converse
the
with.
Okay.
Because there's so many people like, oh, what's your real ID? Blah, blah, blah. We can, play sometime. And I was like, I'll give them the Nacero.87592 or a number that StarCraft gives you so you can add them to your friends list, but not real ID.
Okay.
Yeah. I just, like, my real ID, I think, right now is, like, Paul, you, not Paul, Fuck You, a podcasting about video game talks.
Okay.
You, Pete, Billy, Simon, I think that's it.
Billy added me, or tried to add me. I don't know. I forgot what happened with that, but I just know he's not my real friend.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. He asked me, he's like, oh, what's your real ID on AIM? I'm like, I think I said, I'm fisting at yourmom.com or something like that.
I can see Blizzard marking his account now. He'd be like, this is a Chinese gold farmer.
But then I sent him my real email, but he was probably like, that asshole.
Yeah.
Whatever, Billy, you're an asshole.
So you got anything
Bill.
else? Because I'm figuring I'll probably talk about Cataclysm.
Yeah, I'll wait, because I want to have it for.
Okay.
Or do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to do
Well, do you have anything else that you want to go into, or?
No, I haven't really played anything else.
All right. Pete, you got anything you want to throw in here before we go into Cataclysm for like an hour and spooge?
No.
No Minecraft?
I hear you're quite addicted to that game.
I am very, very addicted to Minecraft, but it's one of those games. After the last PS Nerd podcast, Billy and I talked about it for like 15 minutes, and I realized at the end of the 15 minutes that it was the most uninteresting segment ever, because it's the type of game you can't talk about. You can't, it's just like,
Aren't you
go play it. And,
no, sorry, go on.
No, it's just, there's really no other way, It's like, oh yeah, I went and I built this thing and I dug dirt out of a mine, and it's not very exciting to talk about.
Since we've set up the dedicated server, we've had a lot more fun, because on the server that I used to host the Unreal Tournament server on, the Ultima Online and all that, I set up a dedicated Minecraft server.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at random times, you'll have Chia Hippo in there, me, Pete, Danger Wife, or Billy.
Yeah.
And we're building massive things all over this world. And it's fun for me, too, because, like, Pete and RNA take it kind of serious.
Yeah. We are accomplished builders for
serious.
They take it quite seriously. And here I come while RNA's building something, and I'll steal her toolbox and run away with it and bury it somewhere random in the world. And she has no clue where it is, and she's yelling at me over Skype. And it's fun, though. I mean, it's hard, again, like you said, to describe and to talk about and to keep people interested. But if you like exploring, there's a lot you can do. There's tons of underground caves.
Yeah.
And you can make your own, too. Like, we found this one where it was partially open, but then we expanded on it, and then that broke into another cave. And then we found, like, this pool of lava that was everywhere. And if you could see me right now, I'm making this, like I'm making pottery motion. But there's this lava coming out of it, and I blocked it off with a door, which was fun.
So you're just going to open that up and just rain fire on everybody who's around you?
I want to. I want to find a way to get the lava to come up, and just, like, fill up Arne's building if I could.
Like, is there a physics engine where you could dig below, just below the lava and
there is,
open it and have it shoot out?
There is, but liquids right now aren't really working the way they should. Now, we should note that Minecraft is in an alpha stage right now.
Yeah.
It's $9 in alpha. Basically, you're funding the game to be made by purchasing.
So you buy the alpha and then you have to buy the game again?
No, if you buy the alpha, it's $9 total. That's it.
Yeah.
If you buy it once it's released, it's like $25.
Yeah. Well, he said that he hopes to have it in beta by August 30th, and when the beta starts, it's going to €20. Right now, it's €10, and whatever that equals for us.
Right.
It's going to €20 when it's in beta. He hasn't said what the price is going to be when it's fully released. Okay. But those of us that bought it at €10, we get all of the updates and the finished game and everything beyond that.
And you're getting the satisfaction of knowing you're funding what this guy is doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and he's doing the game by himself, which is one of the most impressive parts of the game, because the game is massive. It has a random world generator. It has all this crazy. It's just a huge game. Runs in a browser too.
Yeah,
and it's like,
oh, okay.
And it's one guy.
It works on
From
Mac,
Sweden.
Linux, PC. You know, it's Java based.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I would definitely suggest anybody check it out at Minecraft.net.
Yeah.
And
If you like sort of outside of the box indie games where people trying new stuff, it's definitely feels like a new experience to me.
My issue with those kind of games is I know you guys would be really hard working on something, and I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna blow that up. Or I'm gonna make like a giant block penis on the top of it, like some sort of tower.
Yeah.
that's kind of been done already.
Yeah, we have a giant black penis.
Yeah.
And black penis.
Yeah. I've gone around. I made what I like to call my Pete. I made like a little shrine where it's a bunch of steps that go up, when the flowers are all along the steps. And once you get to the top, there's a bunch of torches lining around. And if you look down, you see that I spelled out Pete.
So, do you make like the flowers and stuff, or
No,
do
you
they
can go
just
pick them up and then replant them. And
like do they regrow, or is it
Yes.
is there a finite amount?
you can also grow trees and all the other stuff. I mean, there's a lot you can do in this alpha.
Yeah.
The online right now doesn't have critters and stuff like that, so you can't be attacked and all that.
Okay.
It's limited, but there's a lot you can do already, and it's really fun.
Yeah, I think I might pick it up.
Yeah, it's $9.
Yeah. It's fun if for no other reason than just to hop on the server with all of us and mess around. Because Josh, like you said before, he isn't really building all that much. Though you do have a secret thing going on somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Because every time I hop on the server and you were there by yourself, you're always running from this one direction. And you're like, you didn't see anything. So I know he has some secret building going on, or cave or something. But
It's a giant cannon.
No, I do have a cave where it's engraved into this mountain type thing, and then there's a pathway that leads down. And then every time I leave, I block it up with like grass or whatever, so it looks like nobody touched it. And I know where that spot is exactly, and I open it up again and go in, block it off, and when I leave, I block it off again, so nobody knows where it is.
yeah, it's this little masturbation cave, I think.
Yeah, and there's water in it, there's lava in it. Yeah, it's really cool. Minecraft is a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you can mess with each other without destroying things too, which is like what was my worry. I started building this huge thing, and I was just like, Billy and Josh are going to destroy this thing. But they got clever, and instead of destroying it, they started building their own little secret areas within it.
Yeah.
And they started stealing my stuff and hiding it in the secret areas, and they were just being more creative than just smashing it. Like you can actually creatively mess with people. And once the game gets further along, you'll be able to create traps. Once we can start putting like lava in buckets.
Yeah.
Then we're going to start creating traps where if you dig out a piece of sand, lava will come pouring down on your head. And
Yeah.
there's going to be all sorts of ways of messing with each
So
other.
do you have like a character that can die, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can die, but you do respawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it a lot.
So how do you make the blocks? You just go over to a mountain and click on it, and you just get a chunk of rock?
Well, you sit there and like pound away on it until it breaks apart. Then you pick it up, and then you can replace it. And where it goes in your inventory at that point, there's sand from like a beach, or if you go in the water, you can dig up sand. There's grass, and if it's in the sunlight, it grows the grass.
Okay.
Rock, coal, silver. There's tons of different materials.
And then there's really rare ores too. Like there's diamond. We found diamond way down in this series of tunnels, which there's only like a couple pieces per map, so if you find it, it's a pretty big deal. And then if you because you can make weapons and stuff too. There's no PvP in the game yet, but he said it's coming. So if you're the person on the map that finds the diamond and you make a diamond sword, you're gonna have a huge advantage over everybody else. But the worlds are so huge that there's no way to know where the diamond's going to be.
Okay.
Right, like what I'm picturing the end goal of the game is going to be is that, like, I can go off in this section of the world, make a castle and blah, 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 have all these defenses set up. Mm-hmm. Pete can go in his direction, make something. Billy can go in his. You can go in yours. And, if we want, we can set up, like, a little war. Or I can figure out how to get into Pete's, and you can figure out how to get into mine. And there's this. It's completely open. Whatever you want to do, you can do pretty much.
Yeah. Is there like a mechanic like the Animal Crossing where people can just kind of stumble onto your server, or is it locked out?
We keep our server private.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of griefers in Minecraft.
No, I imagine there is.
Yeah. And, for now, with it being the way it is, I want Pete and Danger Wife to just have fun, go on, build, and blah, blah, blah. And Billy can learn the game like that. And anybody else who wants to come in, they can mess around and blah, blah. We're keeping it limited to our friends.
While you discreetly undermine whatever they're trying to do and waiting just for the right moment to blow up everything.
I'm not going to blow up his stuff. Like he said, I had a secret cave in his building. And, he happened to find my secret cave. And
so then I messed with his... He likes to steal the workbenches that you build stuff on, so when I found his secret cave, I went and built, 15 workbenches and went into a secret cave and just filled it with workbenches.
And then sealed it back up.
Yeah, so then he went into it thinking, I'm going back to my secret cave. And he was like, oh, Pete found this area.
I was like, you son of a bitch. I hate you.
Yeah.
But, no, Minecraft is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good about it. Just don't move your hands around, Colin. You can put them on the table.
Sorry.
We're on a glass table.
And I'm very fidgety. People who know me know this.
But that's all you got, Pete? No Starcraft II you want to talk about?
It's awesome. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's Blizzard. It's everything that you think it'd be. They push the single player, the storytelling, all of that stuff is amazing. The online multiplayer is amazing. The matchmaking actually works. It actually puts you against people at your own skill, which is what Microsoft promised 8 years ago and still doesn't do.
They promised stuff like, if you set yourself to recreational, you want to play against the hardcore.
Yeah, exactly. I have myself set to recreational, and I hear the N word and the F word and everything else all the time. So that setting yourself to recreational doesn't do anything.
No,
Microsoft.
My favorite one's a Q word.
Kiwi?
Kiwi begins with a K.
Oh. Wait, what did you say?
The Q word.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said K word for some reason.
But this actually does a good job. At one point I got my butt kicked twice in a row, and then I think it knew it because the next game it just put me against someone who was I sort of easily defeated, and
someone who was partially retarded.
Yeah. So then from there, it figures out okay, he can't beat these people, but he can beat these people, and then it just puts you.
Yeah.
I mean, it has the plus of having so many people playing it that it can do that. A lot of these games have 100 people online, so there's no way to. But that game always has something
10,000.
Yeah.
What's cool?
It has all of Korea.
No, well, actually, it shows you there are currently about 1 million people on Battle.net right now, and then it'll say there is 2,500 in your region.
Yeah.
So they give you some nice stats as well. But it has that challenge mode too, kind of like Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
Where it shows you how to do things. It'll give you techniques, and it'll work with you and show you a bunch of things that you should do.
Will it get me up to 100? What's their system of timing? It's actions per minute or something like that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it seemed I started the challenge modes, and even the early ones are fairly advanced tactics. So it definitely, if you can make your way through that challenge mode, you will be a good to very good online player.
Yeah.
It teaches you more advanced tactics than the single player story mode has ever taught.
Yeah,
it's usually stuff that you have to watch replays to learn, watching other people do it. The game actually teaches you how to do it yourself, which is awesome.
When you and I played Simon, after the match ended, we went and looked at it. It gives you so many stats now at the end.
Yeah, I saw that.
You can see build order. I can match my build order to Simon's, the heats, and all this other stuff. And we saw Simon went and built a refinery right away, and then a bunch of a barrack, and then all these Marines, and then started mining for minerals.
What?
Yeah, he did this. He had the weirdest build order.
Where Pete and I were almost identical.
Yeah.
We went
our first 4 minutes were almost 1-to-1, within 3 seconds of each other. Our build orders were pretty identical.
You spam out your SCVs and you just build a barracks and start spamming out Marines.
Well, he's never played StarCraft before,
Okay.
but like that's one of the cool things that it does. It shows you all these things, and he can match up to what we did. He can see, I did this wrong. I should have had X minerals by X time, so I can start building up my troops. Wait for the rush, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing the challenge helps you with is the rush.
Yeah.
StarCraft II, man, I can't say enough about it.
It's predictably awesome. Like we knew it was going to be great. We were excited to play it, and then we got it, and it was just as great as we thought it was going to be.
It was hilarious watching Pete freak out too, because the launch day, he's like, "Well, I have the digital copy, blah blah blah," but they did it like Valve, where you can pre-install it, but you can't play it. Until
such a time.
So I had all 12 gigabytes of it sitting on my machine for like 6 days, just looking at it.
But he was like, Danger Web, do you want to go out and just buy a copy of the game? Just so, because the retail copy could play it before the digital people.
Yeah. The retail copy could start at midnight Eastern.
Yeah.
The digital copy you couldn't turn on until 1 p.m. Eastern. So they had 13 hours if you bought a digital copy or a retail copy above the digital copy. So I had to sit there and read tweets of people like, I went to a midnight launch and I'm playing it and it's awesome, and I'm like, it's on my machine and I can't play it.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I think it was just their way of placating retail, because I think retail gets pissed off at digital distribution, so they're like, okay, don't get mad, we're going to do digital distribution, but you guys have a 13-hour window, and that kind of forces them to do midnight launches, so it's like...
What I was thinking about, too, actually, is it's a good way to keep from Battle.net from getting hammered so hard that it goes down.
Yeah, that's true, too. They had 13 hours of people registering the digital, or the normal copy, and then once that probably calmed down a little bit, then they had all the digital people like me hammering it.
But they're planning on doing the same thing with Cataclysm this time around, too, for World of Warcraft, which is major. For them to do that for an MMO.
Yeah.
Fucking Blizzard.
Kind of wish I had the box, too. They have great boxes.
Yeah, I have the collector's edition. It's basically like a Terran door that opens up, and then all your stuff is in the inside. It comes with the USB flash card matched like a Rainer's dog tags that has Starcraft and Brood War on it.
Oh,
that's awesome.
It comes with 5 World of Warcraft guest passes, like 5 Starcraft II guest passes, and soundtrack. Obviously, an art book, but that's what Blizzard's known for. The behind-the-scenes DVD, which is actually really cool. Like, they went through how they came up with the Zerg sounds and stuff, and they were making these weird mixtures and trying to come up with those goopy sounds that you do, and the guy sitting there, like, slamming his hands into it, and then going... And he started making fart noises with his palms too. But then he was explaining, like, I went to the bathroom up on the first floor.
Jesus.
No. I went to the bathroom up on the first floor, and when I was using the hand soap...
This is great material. I gotta keep pooping.
No.
This is when we created the 4th race, the Constipators.
Honey, get me some X-Lax. But no, he started using the hand soap, and the sound and texture from that hand soap made this really weird sound. Mm-hmm. And then he played it, and I was like, yeah, that's really fucking creepy. Because the Zerg had that weird, ominous sound to them.
Yeah, and the Zerg are always sort of covered in slimy crap.
Right. And I guess while he was also working with that hand soap stuff, Chris Metzen of Blizzard fame, the guy who does all the lore and a lot of the voices, he came down to the sound studio, and when he walked by the door and he heard it, I guess he went back and said, were you guys just up in the bathroom on the first floor getting these sounds? So, yeah, I mean, it's... the behind-the-scenes DVD is just amazing. Showing off the art stuff. And Blizzard is backwards compared to most companies in the fact that they start with art and then tech.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, they start with saying, okay, this is what we want the Protoss to look like, this is what we want the Zerg and the Terran to look like. Build a game around this. Whereas most companies are like, I'm going to come up with this weird cloud, blah, blah, blah thing, and everything else is secondary.
To make a time-stopping mechanic.
Right. Like Blizzard, I would say the companies that I consider best known for that are Blizzard, and Sucker Punch. They start with art first.
Sucker Punch?
Infamous, Sly Cooper. Okay.
I played the demo for Infamous.
Wait, I can punch you now.
Why?
Because you're dumb.
Oh.
The demo for Infamous is garbage, by the way. The game is great.
Yeah,
I just wanted to toss that in there.
I was thinking, this game isn't so fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
the demo made it look horrible.
Yeah, our friend Chipoko hated the game from the demo. We have a PSN share going, so he got the game from me, and he's like, this game's really great, that demo was garbage, and then I was remembering, I was like, yeah, I almost didn't buy the game because I hated the demo.
Yeah.
I didn't even put it in my queue. I mean, I like Prototype. But...
Is it the same demo where it starts you out as evil, and then you go into good, or did they change it?
I don't know, you're on like a train.
Yeah, you're on a train.
Okay, so you're good then, and then you try the evil stuff after.
Yeah, it's a really boring mission.
Yeah,
and it's like it doesn't.
You gotta use your electricity to keep the train going.
And you have to ride the train too, which is the whole fun of that game is running and jumping up the buildings and sliding on the wires and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, so for the demo they put you on a thing where you have to stand on a train and just throw lightning at things, and it's like, and then you have to climb underneath and like
shoot lightning at the.
Yeah, overload the box.
That's a terrible demo.
Yeah, I played that.
It is a fantastic game. Mm-hmm. It is, and really like Crackdown. What song is it? Oh, this is making me wrong. But no, like as opposed to Crackdown 2, which is basically the same game.
Yeah.
Over. I mean, we've established this numerous times.
Now we can have a death match.
Right.
Real life Crackdown.
But I mean, like Infamous basically for me set the bar. Now, like Crackdown initially set the bar for open world games in this generation, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Infamous set that bar higher. Like the jumping and climbing and all that in Infamous is so much better than what it was in Crackdown.
Right.
In Crackdown 2, you still have the window textures where they look like you can grab onto them and climb, but you can't. You'll just fall right now.
Okay.
In Infamous, if you see it, you can climb it.
Yeah, it was the same with Prototype. I will put Infamous in my queue, but it's really up to GameFly to actually give me the game I want.
Seems like GameFly treats you bad from your tweets.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, I had 5 games... All the games in my queue are games I want to play. But on my top 5 are the games that I really want to play, and then after that are games that, I'll get to them when I can. And GameFly always seems to go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Well,
here you go, have this game. I'm like, while I do want to play this game, I don't. Give me this one.
You gotta learn how to work the system, though, because, like, Pete knows...
Emptying your queue...
I don't know how it does. I only keep one thing in my queue at a time.
Yeah.
So that's the way I always
that's really the only way you're going to get what you want. And even that will end up with you sitting there for a week without getting anything. It's kind of a pain.
I'd much rather have something to play and then hold on for 2 months and then give it back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They just sent me BlazBlue, the new BlazBlue, before we came up here, actually.
Yeah. They did not send me that. That was the first new release in a while that I missed or I didn't miss it. I had a slot open. Usually when I have a slot open and a game comes out, GameFly gets it to me, but they were like, you don't get BlazBlue. Okay.
No BlazBlue for you.
Look, you need to work on Street Fighter. Okay, I will.
You win this round, GameFly. So nothing more for you, Pete?
No, that's it. I want to hear about Cataclysm.
That's what we're going on to then.
There are a crap ton of changes.
There are a crap ton of changes.
Like, it's almost not the same game anymore.
I mean, there are a lot of zones that are pretty much the same, but then again, they haven't gotten to all of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing I did, I transferred over my character to the beta server. And then that way I can have flying and everything, and I can fly around and check out all the changes and stuff. First thing I did was went right to Orgrimmar. I mean, Orgrimmar, the Orc home, you love it. Everybody who plays as a Horde loves Orgrimmar.
Yeah.
That zone is so different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the moment that you get to the opening gate, they're rebuilding it because of obviously what happened with Deathwing and all that. Half the gate on the left side is missing, but on the right side it's totally reconstructed with like steel and all these other awesome things. And then once you go through the gate, which is actually now different too, like there's all these logs holding up the dirt above it, blah, 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 and dirt's coming down on you while you're going through, and all these subtle, nice little details that show you that, yeah, this place was attacked. And then once you get through the gate, and you get into the open part of Orgrimmar, your jaw drops because of what happened. You know, like, once you got into Orgrimmar, you had the auction house right to your right.
Yep.
You know, the bank was right in front of you to the left.
Yep.
And then if you went straight, you were at the Flight Master. Once you climbed up the tower. All gone. None of that is there anymore.
Oh, no.
The auction house is a little bit further over from where it was. That building that was the bank is now gone, and it's replaced by this massive building that has the new war chief. Garage Hellscream, son of Grom Hellscream from Warcraft 3. And that is just a massive tower. There are no Tauren in it, and there are no trolls in it, because Garage is considering kicking them out of the Horde. The part of Orgrimmar that's pretty much the same is, I don't know the name of it, but the area that's covered up and it's dark.
Oh, the drag?
Yeah, the drag. That's kind of the same, except for that it's opened up on the top now. The area that you couldn't get to above the Shadow Cleft or whatever it was, on the bottom, what is up there now is all the Zeppelins actually go into Orgrimmar. They're not on the outside anymore.
Oh, God. Jesus, thank God.
Yeah, so you have
always a pain.
You have one for Ground Gall, Undercity, Thunder Bluff.
Okay.
And then obviously
North Ren.
They all fly into Orgrimmar. So all that is up above. You take an elevator up actually, or a lift. It's actually pretty quick.
No, I'm just tired of the lifts because I've been
Fall
playing a
off
lot
the
of
squish?
I've been playing a lot of Tauren, and Thunder Bluff is all bridges and lifts.
Yeah, but you can't die in these lifts. They're enclosed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's still a pain in the ass. You go, all right, now I gotta wait 30 seconds while this lift goes up and comes back down.
Yeah. If 30 seconds is that hard for you.
I'm impatient. It's especially when you're racing there and you just miss it and you're just like,
Yeah, but there's multiple ones and they're on different times.
oh, okay.
So, all your stuff for your flight and all that, the travel is up on the top. The Shadow Cleft or whatever it was is exactly the same. They haven't changed that at all.
Okay.
The Valley of Spirit or
It's Valley of Spirits, yeah.
yeah, that is completely different. Now that's where, like, there are some Tauren over there. There's a Druid trainer. There's a little Druid section.
Oh, they have a Druid trainer, finally.
Yeah, there's a big waterfall, and the new water effects, oh my god, are they gorgeous.
Yeah, I saw that video you posted.
Everything's reflective, and you can see under it, and things, like, get wavy if you see them moving in the water. Yeah, they definitely did a good job with that.
Yeah, it looked really good.
The Valley of Strength, I don't think I've gone into yet. I think for some reason I skipped it.
Well, there's nothing really interesting in there except for trainers.
Yeah, and Orgrimmar is so different. It's so different that when I was playing the other day when Pete messaged me on Real ID, I was actually lost in the original Orgrimmar. I couldn't find my way around because I'm now so used to the way that it was in Cataclysm.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I got this log off and go back to the real game now, which is Cataclysm for me.
Are they going to do an event on the servers that sort of bridges how the world is now to what happens? Like, sort of like they had the Scourge invasion and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening right now, if you sit in Orgrimmar or any capital, I think minus the Alrain, because that's floating, you'll actually periodically feel earthquakes. And your screen will start shaking and all that other thing to kind of give the appearance of Deathwing waking up and he's starting to break free. And they're saying over time that's going to start getting more prevalent and powerful. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, they're going to do something. I don't know what's going to happen. One of the big questions is what's going to happen when I log in the day after I get the patch for Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be patched in for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if I log out in Thousand Needles,
am
I going to be underwater when I log in the next day? So now I want to put my characters in all different spots, so I can
see what happens.
Right.
It's probably just going to port you over where your hearth is.
That's one thing I was thinking, but the problem with that is you don't want to port thousands of people into one spot. So I don't know what they plan to do.
Yeah.
The trolls have a whole new starting area.
Yeah, I didn't look at that at all.
The original Echo Isle is gone, and it's completely rebuilt. It's one gigantic island now. The trolls have built up their own little capital. Vol'jin is there.
Okay.
You train there. The Sejin Island village, I think it was, is pretty much the same. But that's it for the trolls. I think this is an awesome quest line. I'm not going to spoil it, but I can say that Vol'jin threatened to kill Garrosh in his sleep.
Huh.
So there's definitely some shit going on with the Horde. Thousand Needles, as we know, is completely underwater. I haven't swam down yet to see what it looked like on the bottom. From what I've seen from pictures, it looks the way it was, is destroyed and now covered in water.
Yeah.
Tanarus is completely different in the fact that the water, like you have Gadget Sand, and the water line is actually now like flooding into it, and they actually had to move part of Gadget Sand further over. The Barrens has been cut in half. There's a huge crevice of lava in the middle of it, which was funny because when I first got into the beta, there was a bug that if you flew over that crevice, you get a mountain fall down into it to your death. The beta is quite buggy.
Yeah, Nance can't get a character past level 5.
Yeah. Stone Talon Mountains looks like they completely redid it.
Good, that place is godforsaken.
Oh, that place is very different. Desolate. I would say it's half and half. There's half of it where you have all these trees growing and they completely redid it, and there's all these new enemies and friends and all that. And then the other half is pretty much the same. It's gray and all like that. And the only other areas I checked out as of right now was I flew through Hyjal.
Okay. Finally.
Checked out the Tree of Life from Warcraft 3.
Awesome. Yeah.
That what's his name? I don't remember.
Fucking demon guy. I can't remember his name either.
Well, he was climbing up that at the end of Warcraft 3. He knew to stop him. Flying over that was really cool, and it's like, I remember all of this. This is so cool. I'm such a nerd, and I'm never going to get laid. But no, that area was really cool, really well designed. The only other area I checked out was Stormwind.
Okay. Because it got all messed up.
Right. Well, just like Orgrimmar, half of the not the park section.
Okay.
It was cut off, and it looks like it all just rolled down into the water, and there's a bunch of fire everywhere. And now there's a huge dock further down. It's so much detail. I haven't checked out Ironforge and Undercity. I don't think those have changed though.
Well, the gnome, I think. Do the gnomes have their own starting area now? Do they have gnome?
I think they're getting. Yeah, I think they're getting that back, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, fucking Mulgore is blocked off now.
Yep.
You can't get into Mulgore because apparently the Alliance now have a settlement in the Barrens, and they tried to attack the Tauren, so they built this huge gate. Now you can't get through to Mulgore. I don't know how you get there anymore, or how you get out.
Zeppelin and Windrider.
Probably. But it's cool. The Worgen zone. I wasn't able to make a Worgen up until about a week ago because they had it blocked off. They wanted to change some of the models, I guess.
You mean the one model that they have for the Worgen that you can play?
There's a bunch. You just can't be a female.
You know, when Nance tried to play, she could only play as one Worgen guy.
No, there was a bunch of designs.
Not for Nance. She had a mustachioed gentleman with black hair, and that's all she could play as.
Well, that's looks like Nance. I didn't say that. That was Pete. No, the Worgen stuff is their quest line is really cool, and that's where I started to really notice what Blizzard did with Cataclysm. You start out, you meet up with this guy, he gives you like 2 or 3 quests, you do those, then he says, okay, go talk to this guy, he gives you 2 or 3 quests, you do those, he tells you to go to that guy, and so forth. It's very well organized. Now, it's not, even when I was working with one of my other characters, it says, okay, go to this base here, talk to all these guys, And I never had to go from barrens to hinterlands to blah blah blah. Just from continent to continent to zone. I never had to run from the top of the barrens to the lower part of the barrens, back to the top of the barrens. It is so well structured that it sends you to that spot and then sends you back. There's also called auto quest now. When you get to a certain part of a map, well, say you go out onto this quest.
Okay.
Once you go past this gate that you have to get through to go to that quest, another one will just randomly pop up and say, "Hey, while you're here, do this."
Why don't you kill these guys for no apparent reason? And
then once you complete that, it just immediately finishes and goes right back into the normal quest that you were in. So, there's this quest popping up, giving you more options of what you can do, and then it just moves you along from there.
Alright.
So, auto quests are cool. There's some that finish, and you don't have to go back to the quest giver like you normally would.
Yeah.
Say, "Hey, go kill 10 of these guys, and then come back to me, and we'll spoon." Well, now he'll say, "Hey, go kill 10 of these guys, and I never want to see your scummy face again."
They're making it easier.
They are, but you know what? The questing system got so convoluted when you had the original World of Warcraft where everything was so spread apart.
Yeah.
And they wanted you to see as much as you could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then now when you have to do that, plus Burning Crusade, plus North Red, now you have to go back to Azeroth.
They had to spread it out more when it was only level 60, and there wasn't all that much end game either.
Right.
Now it's like the leveling is awesome, and that's always been my favorite part, but it is kind of a pain when you want to make a new character, and you're looking at a level cap of 80, and it's like you start, and it's like, run to this continent, then back to this continent, and then, they definitely had to streamline it to make it a little bit easier, I think.
Kyle, will you be my bodyguard?
Yes, Josh. But what I was talking about, it's like a complete, as Josh now cups me, as a completely different game is just the mechanical changes.
Yeah.
They completely redesign the way you level. They redesign the way you get your abilities.
Really?
You don't have ranks now. You learn poking a guy with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
And poking a guy with the staff will level up with you. And you can open up your spellbook. The way the spellbook looks is completely different. You can see when you will get certain abilities. Your talents won't come at every level. It'll become like every third level or something like that. And you can't have 2 trees of talents that you're working on. You can work into the second tree once you put in 30 points into the other one. That's what I was most concerned with. I mean, it's great that they've redesigned some of the places, but just the mechanics are different.
Well, they also went back to basics too. Like in Burning Crusade, you had they started bringing up MP5 and
they changed all
crit
that.
hit, and defense cap, and crit cap, and all that crazy shit. Kyle is my bodyguard, by the way, Nancy.
I hit the jackpot, but he hit a bigger jackpot.
We're being interrupted.
Damn.
Why don't you guys tell them what you're interrupting us about?
We figured out the system, and now we got lots of tickets.
We're beating the system at Funspot.
But right now we're waiting for all the tickets to, stock back up, so this way we can go take everybody else.
We have to wait for the sheep to fatten up.
Can I have mine?
Yeah.
Can we get back to
We're
the
out of
show?
tokens, aren't we?
What?
Are we out of tokens?
I already got more tickets.
Oh, Jesus. What are you looking for?
The other
Let's try to do a podcast, Pete.
This is what happens at Funspot.
Does this happen to the PS nerds?
No, but we don't know
I
anybody.
actually got more tickets.
Oh, that's true.
Though actually, a lot of times on PS Nerds, you can hear Arne in the background laughing at whatever she's watching on TV because, as you know now in person, she laughs quite loud.
Now you can just listen to the bodyguard.
Well, I was being soothed by that while we were talking about destruction and Cataclysm.
Yeah, oh, right. You don't know.
Well, I watched you play. And I was able to garnish enough information. Not garnish. Jesus Christ.
Alright, you guys go away. We're talking about Cataclysm again. See you in a little while. Thank you. All right, but as I said, they made
Love
it.
you, Josh.
I love you too. Thank you, one of my loyal fans, aka brother. No, they made it too convoluted when they started adding all these different abilities and stats and crazy shit.
Yeah.
E5 mana per 5 seconds, and the crit hit and all that. When before it was your intelligence was your mana.
Yeah.
Your spirit was how much mana you regen.
Or health.
Or health. Strength was obviously health.
Damage.
Or stamina was
Stamina's health.
yeah. And they, now in Cataclysm they're going back to that.
Oh, thank God.
Well, they started going back to that with the last one a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah.
They did and they didn't. They still have MP5 and crit hit and the defense cap and all
I just
that.
remember I heard them say, we want Spirit to mean something. Because for the longest time, Spirit, no one wanted anything with Spirit on it.
Right. And they did do a good job of it. But now I think, honestly, the best thing they could have done is just going back to the basics.
Yeah.
Because it's simpler. I don't have to sit here and come up with this Excel spreadsheet to calculate how much mana I'm getting back and all this crazy shit. And now all I gotta do is to say, all right, I got 400 spirit, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. And people became so obsessed with those stats that they didn't even care how good they were at the game. I remember healers being like, I have 400 mana per 5 seconds. And it's well, you still can't keep the tank alive, so you suck.
Right.
Get better at healing. Don't give a damn about your mana per 5.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know, it's just really cool how they've gone back to the basics, they've changed the way that the leveling experience is, they've changed the mechanics of the training and all that. Now when you level, it says you are now level 5.
Oh, yeah, that comes up. I thought that was a nice effect.
Yeah, well, you are now level 5, new abilities,
Did they change the leveling sound? I always loved that.
No, same sound.
It's the same, gong.
Yeah, same sound, same effect, the light.
But now there's a little a little thing that pops and goes, congratulations, you're level 5.
Right, and then it'll say your new abilities are this, you
Yeah.
get one new talent and so forth.
Go see this person to learn your stuff.
Yeah. The talent system is completely different
Yeah.
now, too. I play a druid, and you have balance, restoration, and feral.
Yeah.
Now, say if I want to be a balance druid, I put my first points in balance. Once I do that, I'm locked into balance. I can't be I'm going balance and a little bit of feral. I can't go into feral until I max out. It's the very last one.
Yeah, it's 30 points.
Yeah, once I get 30 points in balance, then I can start putting them in the other ones. So what's that going to do is it's going to kind of make people think about what to do a little bit more. Cause,
it does sort of kill off the hybrid, but, I mean...
It doesn't, though, because it's making each spec more valuable.
Yeah.
Which is something they really need to do.
Yeah, they definitely needed to do that. And whenever people... I mean, it always sucked that there was always these sort of cookie-cutter specs. It's if you want to be a great feral tank, you do this. If you want to be a good, boomkin, you do this. But then the people who would make up their own specs were always so terrible. They're I got 11, 12, 14.
Yeah.
And then you'd watch them and they couldn't do anything right. So I guess it's good that those people won't be able to come up with, the most stupid.
Yeah. I was able to cool Nancy from doing that, way early on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just copy somebody else's spec?
No, it was just... Instead of spreading all your points out, just be really good in one thing. And she was okay.
Yeah.
And now she's a pretty good healer.
Yeah. Any more questions about Cataclysm?
What are they doing, and is it in the beta yet, for endgame? I mean, this is all stuff for leveling. What about the people, the hardcore raiders? What are they getting out of Cataclysm?
Well, you have Hyjal.
Mm-hmm.
You have, which is going to have, I think, a raid in it. You have Vashnir or whatever it is.
Oh, the island?
No, that's the underwater.
Oh,
quest
where the
line.
Naga came.
You do the whole Naga stuff now.
Okay.
So half of the Cataclysm takes place underwater. Because the Vashnir or whatever it is, there's these tons of dungeons down there. There's
Jesus Christ!
well, here comes Danger Wife with a bunch of tickets.
An armful.
Wow.
We'll talk to you guys in a little while.
That's crazy.
No,
They've been here for 4 hours and they've already broken the system.
Yep. But I know you have Bashir, and that's all underwater. There's tons of raids down there. That's basically where.
So they're going to get more than just raids, so there's going to be questing zones and for higher levels.
That's all.
But there's no level cap increase, right? Like,
It's
85.
85. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a half an expansion.
No, it's a full expansion.
No, I just mean for the it's been 10 levels for every other expansion.
Well, they wanted people to concentrate on the content more than the leveling this time.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot. I mean, Ragnaros reappears now because when you fought him in Molten Core, that was what did they say? Not his elemental form. You fought him like when he was summoned to this earth, but you weren't really fighting him. And now
it was too soon.
Right.
As anyone who's
exactly,
done
it's
that.
too soon. Now, wow.
He was not ready.
No, Major Domo fucked up. But you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. When you defeat Major Domo, he runs to Ragnaros' lair, and once you talk to him, Ragnaros wakes up and he comes flying out of the lava, and he's all bullshit. He's yelling at Major Domo, Executus, whatever, and he goes, "Too soon, blah blah." Then goes into this huge speech, and he goes to kill Major Domo, and what you think would be this epic blast or something, and it's this little tiny ball, no bigger than a pea, that goes through Major Domo and he explodes. And it's like, what? That was it?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, though.
But that was the first raid. Well, Nixia was the first technical raid. That was the first dungeon.
But now you actually go to the what they're doing is they're doing a lot of elemental stuff in this one. Like
God damn it.
You go to the elemental fire plane to fight Ragnaros. Then they're going to apparently do the other elemental stuff as well.
Awesome.
On top of, the Naga stuff, Deathwing.
So what you're saying is my shaman's going to be useless with all the elemental stuff?
No. I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't touched Shaman yet. I'm just saying, you're now going to the elemental plane to fight Ragnaros in his actual form.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently he's supposed to be a real dick. Because he was before.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do for people who are 80 already.
Awesome. And I've only heard about. I mean, I figured they were doing something for those people because those people are who their bread and butter. Those are the people that buy years at a time. But
buy the Pegasus mount.
Yeah.
Retarded.
Oh yeah, $25 for a mount.
It's crazy.
Did you do anything with the archaeology secondary skill?
I have not yet. No.
They have a new secondary skill like fishing or first aid that changes your character somehow.
I think they were taking that out.
No, it's still in there.
Well, there was something that they were taking out. Maybe it might have been like the Path of the Titans thing that they were talking about.
Oh.
How was this is hopping back because I only played Lich King in the beta. When it went live is when I retired from the game, but I played the beta. I leveled to like 75, and then I just imported an 80 and did some of the high-end content. But nobody really was doing anything with Inscription. How did that end up working out? Is it?
No, it worked out good.
I think the glyph thing is interesting. Like
you have to have glyphs.
Yeah, you add variance to your character. You make your character better in some aspects.
Mm-hmm. Well, like here, like I play a Balanced Druid. Okay, I have at the time I don't know what it is now. Glyph of Moonfire. Okay, where it cuts my Moonfire damage down by like a third, or even more than that possibly, like very minuscule damage. But what happens is every time now that I cast a Starfire, it refreshes the damage over time of Moonfire. So
so it just keeps it as a great dot.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going and going. If I hit, so then you come up with this little combo where you go, okay, Fairy Fire, Moonfire, Infect, whatever that...
Infection?
No, Insect Swarm.
Yeah.
Wrath, and then Starfire. By the time you go to Starfire, Moonfire is running out, so then you refresh it, and then you go Wrath, Starfire. And then it just keeps it on the whole time. So that's one of the things that glyphs let you do.
Yeah.
You're altering your spells.
A lot of it is it'll cut out reagents for certain spells.
Right.
Like as a shaman, my reincarnation, I don't need Ankhs, or I don't need a flask of oil for water walking.
That's good. That was the worst in raids when There'd be a wipe, and then there'd be 3 shaman, and all 3 of them be like, "We don't have any onks." You motherfuckers.
Yeah, like on Druids, they cut out the requirements of like the seed regions to resurrect people and do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
They also cut down the time of the resurrection spells and stuff.
Mm.
They have their place. I mean, if you're a raider, yeah, I can see them being kind of critical.
Yeah.
But if you're your average person, no, not so much.
Probably the hardcore PvPers probably have stuff.
Yeah, they have some dedicated for PvP as well.
Because it seemed like it was going to be so powerful when they announced it. They're like, you'll augment your spells and like.
And you are.
Yeah.
Just I don't know if it's to the degree of what everybody thought.
Oh, great. My Thunderbolt will do 1% more damage. Yes.
I'll take it. 1% more is more than what I had before. So why not? But alright, if nobody else has got anything else for us, we do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Alright, Outlaw Moogle wants to know what some of our arcade games have we think about and what we like. Kyle?
I have no desire to play Limbo.
Yep. Hydro Thunder?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Castlevania HD?
Not in Castlevania games.
So Kyle has no interest in some of arcade.
Thus far. Well, what about the ones coming? I don't know what that Monday night Fight Club.
Monday Night Combat. I saw that at PAX. That's kind of like
It's like a boxing game?
no, not at all. It's kind of this variant of Team Fortress 2 in a cell-shaded thing.
Okay.
It's very brutal, very bloody.
I might be interested in that.
Kind of think like not gameplay-wise, but I'm saying like the theatrics of it. Think like Team Fortress 2 meets Smash TV. Nice hat hair.
Yeah.
So it's this weird show. It's a very brutal game. It's very cool though. I like it a lot.
Is it going to be like online,
Yes.
like 8-on-8 kind of thing, or?
I don't know how many players, but from what I gathered at PAX, it is going to be online. So you have no interest in Summer of Arcade?
Most likely not, unless there's something that they slip out that's completely amazing now.
So you have no interest at all then?
Nope.
Okay. Pete?
I skipped Limbo. I'm interested in Limbo, but I will pick up Limbo the day that it goes on sale.
Right.
$15 for a 3-hour game that doesn't really have any replay value, since it's mostly based in puzzles, and puzzle games get boring. It's like when you already know the answers to the puzzles.
Yeah.
But it looks like an amazing experience. People who play it love it. I hope to do that someday, but
Well, I mean,
not at $15.
Especially when we just got Deathspank.
Yeah.
You know, which is in an 8-hour game for the same price.
Yeah, exactly. At least 8 hours.
That is literally twice the game.
Right. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, Limbo for its art and all that, it looks really cool. I will try it at some point when it is cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hydro Thunder I got. Single player is pretty decent. I dig it more than most people do. Like, a lot of people are really complaining about it. But multiplayer unlocks all of the fastest boats, and the game seems to be like they designed the tracks around going that speed.
Wait, this is a boat racing game?
Yeah.
You never played Hydro Thunder? We would bring you to the machine here, but they just took it out like a month ago. The guy told us.
They do have it in the arcade that's on the Weirs Beach Strip.
Yeah.
So we can take you over there.
It's boat racing.
Yeah, but it is.
It's arcade boat racing.
It's arcade.
It's boat racing by Midway.
And you have a lot of
okay.
you have a lot of water physics, and that can really screw you up as well. But like,
and you have like turbo.
Yeah,
and you
it's
go off
boosting.
huge cliffs and waterfalls, and it's not realistic in any way, shape, or form.
it's a pretty awesome game.
Yeah.
I have not played it online yet.
Yeah, it's awesome online, and online if you come in the top 3, you get points that go towards unlocking stuff offline. So if you're one of the people who don't like the offline, you can play online and unlock all that stuff. I like both. So I'm really happy with that. Castlevania, I am undecided upon. I have it. I've played. Playing it by myself was kind of But graphically, I'm a little bit disappointed in it.
Really?
Yeah. I was picturing. I never looked at any screens of it, I guess, which was my first problem. So I had no idea going in, and I was picturing more of a I don't know, like you can tell that they sort of took like the art from what's it, Dawn of Sorrow. Like it looks sort of Game Boy-y, and the animations are just kind of like, it's like 3 frames. It's like whip, whip.
Yeah.
And that's what Castlevania games used to look like. So I don't hate it, but I was expecting more of like a HD remix.
Well, especially since they slapped HD at the end of it. You kind of expected more.
Is it a remake of the first Castlevania?
No,
or is it a whole
it's
new?
a completely new game.
Yeah.
And it has all these stages to it. It's not like a continuous castle that you go through like a normal Castlevania. You get into the stage, and then it shows you your target, which is the end boss, and then you go through and do that.
Yeah, that's the coolest part, is that in just one button click, it goes from like you're looking at your character, and then it backs up and you see the whole dungeon like as a map. But you can actually play in that view. Your guy's this big on the screen. I'm making a finger thing. People listening at home. Your guy's this big, and then you zoom back in on him and go. So if you need to find out like how to get to a boss, you can move back. And when you're playing multiplayer, you can play. I think it's 6-player.
I think it's like 8 actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of players for a Castlevania game. You can look back and see where people are to figure out like how to meet up with them. And stuff.
In the multiplayer stuff, when I played the other day with the Rumble Pack, and I would be, there's points where you have to get together with other guys and be like, hey, can you go over here and hit this switch so I can get through? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
And there's stuff like that. There's objectives that you can do. There's also, we didn't do it, but apparently there's like this special attack that if you get together with the multiplayer people, you can do. You hold like the right trigger, and this apparently a super attack, but we never did it.
Yeah, I haven't done that either.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like you can go through and pick different characters from the Castlevania series, like Soma from Dawn of Sorrow, a couple from Portrait of Ruin, maybe.
Yeah.
Alucard from Symphony of the Night. So there's a few, and apparently there's supposed to be some that are downloadable.
All right.
Like they don't have Simon Belmont, which to me
is
wait, what?
Really weird.
Simon Belmont is
He's even I know. I know who's Simon.
He's the Super Mario of
Castlevania.
Yeah, and he isn't in the game. So he has to be downloadable.
Yeah.
Or they're idiots. But yeah, you start out, you get to the beginning of the level, you all go through, and you fight this big boss, and apparently it also scales with how many people you have playing at the same time. So, like, when we had, 6 people, it was easier for us to kill a boss than when we got 8. Yeah.
Do the characters have different abilities?
Oh, yep.
Okay, good.
And I guess, I don't know this firsthand, but I did read some of the reviews, which I tend to not read reviews because I find them frustrating, but many of the reviews complain that the characters are completely unbalanced. Like, there's some characters like Alucard and one of the chicks that are really powerful, and the other characters that they're like, no one's going to want to use these people because even when you fully upgrade them, they suck.
Alucard's supposed to be really powerful.
Yeah.
Isn't he like he's a
no, but it just sucks. Like, if you're playing 8 players, it's like, oh, I got to be the crappy character.
Well, I mean, everybody has to pull their weight, though, because when we were all fighting a boss, the Alucards or whoever would die, and what happens when you die is you actually turn into a skeleton. And then you can throw bones at the boss for very little damage. But you can also be resurrected if they have the water of life or whatever it is. You have to pull your weight, or else you'll die. It doesn't matter. If you have a full room of 8 Alucards, guess what? That boss is just now even harder. So,
it would be cooler if it was balanced. But I mean, I don't know for sure that these characters are as crappy as the reviews say.
Right.
But you hope going into a game that each character you use has its own sort of strengths and weaknesses. But overall, that they both bring something, or they all bring something to the table.
Yeah.
So that would be a disappointment if there are characters that just no one ever picks.
Yep. Castlevania I approve of. I would say it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. It's just, it doesn't strike me as a classic.
Right.
Like Symphony of the Night, people still play that game to this day all of the time. Where I don't think 2 years from now someone's going to be like, I want to throw this one in. I think this one's going to be really fun in the short term. I think we'll play a lot of multiplayer. We'll have a really good time with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a flash in the pan kind of
Yeah.
Castlevania.
Yeah. So I would say, for the most part, we approve of Summer of Arcade.
Yeah.
They've had some good games. There's some, like Limbo, I have really no interest in.
Yeah. I think it's cheaper. It'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, another question here is from Mr. Billy Bill Black, your co-host, psnerds.com. I don't even understand this question. He says, in the game of Josh versus Pete, what games did he win?
Did you guys even play against each other in any games?
I don't know if he's talking about Street Fighter or anything here. Or a fist fight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that... I mean, we played Street Fighter this morning and Josh won no matter what controller. Because we did some experimentation with the gamepad, which I have a gamepad, so that wasn't new to me, but that was new to Rich. And new to Rich and I was Josh's tournament stick. And no matter what Josh used, he beat us with whatever we used.
Yeah.
So in that game, Josh won, but we haven't really played anything else.
Not together, no.
Yeah.
Not a Funspot.
Yeah, most arcade games are single player, or if there is a multiplayer component, it tends to be co-op.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget too, these arcade cabinets, we're a lot bigger than what we used to be.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stand side by side.
Mm-hmm. Especially you and I.
Right,
because
right.
We are the biggest guys here.
Yeah.
Hell, even Nance and I have a problem standing next to each other
Yeah.
with the Turtles game.
I mean, you forget.
Yeah, you and I standing in front of this cabinet here would be we'd be elbows into each other.
You might as well just wrap your arms around each other.
So I don't think that we've really gone at it like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe we'll bust out something on the PlayStation tonight. You know, get maybe some like 6 player Bomberman going or something.
Yeah. I brought my controller.
I brought my fight pad.
I have a bag full of controllers.
Alright, another one is from Mr. Sneaky Turtle Egg.
Okay.
He says, what games at Funspot did each of you play the most, and were you inspired to purchase any more JAMA boards? JAMA boards, for those who don't know, is very early on in arcade systems' life. Each company had their own system of making the motherboard of the cabinet work with their joystick setup and the monitor and all that. What JAMA is, it's a special connector that they all came together and made a JAMA like foundation or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. And they decided, okay, this is going to be the standard. Everybody comes out with a thing like that works with this control setup, or you make your own, blah blah. But each PCB will plug into it. So like I can take a Turtles in Time board and plug it into an X-Men board, and it'll work like normal. Is what JAMA means. No, I have not been inspired to buy any more JAMA boards right now. I don't really have the room for it right now.
I don't have
own
a cabinet.
Yeah, I don't own one to add any more.
I do, yeah. But I guess what games did you guys play the most?
I played a lot of Guerrilla War. Me and my brother used to play that a lot every Sunday after church in the restaurant my family would go to, so that was a good memory. I played a lot of the Turtles arcade game with Nance. I played.
Nice. You gotta do that.
Yeah. What else? We failed miserably at Double Dragon and Contra.
I walked by Double Dragon, and all I see is Nancy and Kyle like threatening to punch each other. Because in the game, rather than beating up the thugs, they're beating each other up.
Well, Nance is just like swinging around her whip, and I'm like, you gotta stop! You got to stop killing me. This is I'm on like my 4th token because you keep hitting me with the whip, and then I headbutted her, and then I was using her to get the Mongo or like one of the big muscular guys. Yeah. Who just keeps throwing you whenever he gets up. So I beat the shit out of this guy. Nancy would go in for the attack. She would get picked up and tossed, and then just keep.
So she was your distraction.
Yeah, she was my distraction.
Right. So Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I did. You gotta play Turtles game. I'm probably gonna go back down to there and play it more, or the Simpsons arcade game, or Terminator 2, the shooter game.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that on the Genesis.
Pete?
I played and beat Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. I actually
Platinumed it.
Yeah, added to my trophy collection. No, I almost beat it last night. This is our second trip here in 2 days. I almost beat it last night, and there's this little kid that was just standing next to me, and I was just like, screw you, kid. And then him and his mom were standing next to me and evil-eyeing me, and I was on the last level. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I just got up and let the kid play.
What?
And then the same thing was happening today. The kid was standing there, and he actually took a token out, and he was like waiting to stick it in the second that I died. So I just started throwing tokens in before I even died. So then like it didn't even ask me, like it asked you if you want to continue, but I didn't have to throw anything in. So he eventually walked away, and I was able to beat the game. And then I actually got almost to the last level again, just on the tokens that I tossed in when that kid was there. So I almost beat it twice in a row. My favorite part about that game is that there's a seat, so you can sit down.
Yeah.
I think all arcade cabinets should have seats.
Oh, wait, I actually have a high score currently in one of the games. It's that motorcycle game.
Oh, is that the one that you can sit on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the high score on that so far.
Nice.
But for butt.
I had a lot of fun with race driving, which was like one of the first polygonal. The physics in that game are still pretty decent. Like it's really heavy feeling. Like it's kind of like it's a pretty realistic racer, you know. And it's like, but then whenever you crash, it's so funny because it does that top-down view, and your car's like this big. And again, you can't see what I'm doing with my fingers, but yeah, this is top-down view, and it looks like a little matchbox, and the explosion's like 4 polygons that are just sort of painted red. But the actual driving and doing like the loop-de-loop and the jumps and stuff is fun. And I played a bunch of old-school games. I did the Nintendo Play 10 you showed me.
Yep.
I played Mario Brothers with a joystick, which was weird and horrible.
Yeah. That's just not how it's meant to be.
No.
And I played EA's NASCAR game. That game was so bad. EA should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
And it said it came out in 2007 on the cabinet. That game looks like it came out in like 1999. It's like it controlled so horribly. And I played Daytona, which is still a riot.
Oh, dude, that Daytona stuff that they have down there.
Yeah, I gotta play Daytona.
That is, like I told you on the show, man. They have like a 10-person setup down there of just Daytona. It's crazy.
Yeah, that whole row. It's like that. There's a ton of Daytona 1, then there's a ton of Daytona 2, and then there's the NASCAR game.
They're all connected too.
Yeah.
Like if I hop on one and you hop on one, we can race each other.
Yeah. It's really cool. We played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was
I can't believe
That was
they
so
have
bad.
3 Mortal Kombat cabinets and not 1 Street Fighter.
I know.
They have Street Fighter, it's just not here right now because they cycle their games in and out.
Yeah.
It sucks, I know. But we have Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would like to have played 2, either Street Fighter 1 or Street Fighter 2, just in an arcade. Just because I've never done that before.
I can respect that. Maybe that arcade that has Hydro Thunder has it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll have to check that out.
It is 2 minutes away from where we're staying.
Nice place. But, anything else, Pete?
No, I played a ton of old games, but everything I played once died and then moved to the next.
Yeah,
This place is ADD. It's awesome if you have ADD because it's like
it is.
You just like I still have a bunch of coins left, and it's just like they all just cost 1, and you play for 2 minutes, and then you go to the next one. And I probably played 50 games. I can't remember.
Nancy
most
stole
of the
my
names.
coins. I'm coinless.
For me, obviously I spent a lot of time with Juno Ferris. It's a game that when I got back from the tournament, I set my personal best of over 250,000. The one score that I have on there right now is 1,100. No, a lot. It's. I'm getting close to my 250, but I'm so out of practice. I should have been playing it this whole time when I was at home. Like, plug my arcade stick into my computer and play it on an emulator and practice. But no, it's Juno First has me by the balls. That's where I spent a lot of my time. Kyle swaying back and forth. It's really beefy.
Yeah, I've been sitting way too long. I need to get up and start moving soon.
Yeah, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, obviously.
Yeah.
That has to be like everybody stopped. I played some Donkey Kong. I made everybody who came in touch the Donkey Kong machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Yeah. I played a game of that too. That was a huge nerd honor. Like I felt really, really cool playing that. Yeah, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Obviously, Pac-Man, all those, you have to play them.
Yeah.
Contra, I cannot stand the arcade version. I tried.
Yeah, it is awful.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I was raised on the NES one.
Yeah.
So this one just feels weird to me. And like you said, Mario is not meant to be played with a stick.
You have to do it just to try it, but it's really, really awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for me. It's just ADD central. You walk in, like the first night, and we'll probably be talking about this later when we record something at the cabins.
Yeah.
But the first night, it was basically everybody coming in, crapping their pants, and being like, "Wow,
You just run around, you throw a quarter in one thing, and then you throw a quarter in something else. I think on the play 10, when I played that, I still had like a minute and a half of time left, but I didn't even want to play. Like I played all the games that I wanted to, and I was like, I don't care. I need to go to a different machine. I need to put.
Everybody's faces just lit up when they saw how many games there were.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what to go to first.
Mm-hmm. Today was easier to focus. You definitely had that down. You knew that we were going to do that.
Yeah.
You were like, you knew last night we were going to geek out, and that today we'd be able to focus a little bit more.
That's how every time we come up, it's the same way too. We'll come in and be like, I don't know what to go to first. So your first night is just get it out of the way and come back the next day. And, the one thing I haven't spent any time with that I'm really sad with, I'm going to have to go do that after this, is some pinball.
Yeah, I haven't played any pinball
I played
either.
pinball.
I'm terrible at pinball.
Yeah, I am terrible at pinball.
But I love playing pinball.
Yeah, that's fun.
But that's it for questions, and that's...
Before we go, I have to just say this one thing. The cabins we are staying at are very interesting. They're interesting in the fact they're about 15 square feet. All of them are uneven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You step out of the bed, and I thought I was still drunk this morning. Well, this afternoon.
You probably were, but...
Late morning, no, not after that. But I was like,
I
whoa.
drank a lot.
Oh, Jesus. And then I had to walk all the way to the other side of the cabin to hold the wall to right myself.
Yeah.
To make the journey uphill, to go downhill, to go kind of the diagonal right to get to the bathroom.
But you know
It
what?
was like marble madness to pee.
I like the fact that place is kind of like that, though. It has this charm to
It's
it.
also really creepy, and instinct. They had a map of Weirs Beach, and out of instinct from playing so many survival horror games, I grabbed the map and put it in my pocket.
How is it creepy?
They're all very small. It's very quiet, and then they have that metal silhouette of the cowboy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that cowboy's scary.
Yeah, I wanted to punch that thing out one time. When we came up for the tournament, I was out there having a cigarette at like 4 in the morning, and it had a thunderstorm, and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there was this crack of lightning, and everything just lit up, and I saw that black silhouette of a dude, like with his leg up on the building,
Arms
just sitting there like this. Yeah, and I literally just clenched my fist and started running towards it, and then I realized what it was. But no, I like that place though because it has charm to
Yeah,
it.
it definitely has a charm, but it's got that edge of, I don't know. It's like the House on Haunted Hill, the book where they're describing the mansion and everything is designed to make you slowly go crazy because everything's at slight angles.
I don't know. Like if we did this again, I would probably stay there again.
Yeah, I would definitely too.
Yeah, no, it's part of the experience.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and you're so close to all the restaurants and everything on the strip. Like we walked down and got some pizza last night.
Yeah, where's the beef? Best cheesesteak out of Philly I've had. Period.
Oh yeah, Where's the Beef is awesome.
Yeah, that place was good.
All right, Kyle.
All right.
You know what you have to do.
Yes, I do.
Without a computer in front
Without
of
a
you.
computer in front of me, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. But
Kyle, how can they reach us if they want to?
there's a few ways they can reach us. There is our voicemail, which is 909-C-Strike. There is our Gmail account, which is cstrikepodcast@gmail.com. What?
Move this way, jackass. It's hard.
Oh, sorry. I gotta lean. And there's also the Twitter accounts. There's the podcast, which is at Critical Strike. There's Josh's, which is at Nasero. Mine, which is at KR Dumont. And then there's Pete Dodd's, which is Pete_Dodd.
Very nice. Did you get the voicemail line too?
Yeah, that was the first one I said.
No.
I'm very
I
surprised.
know, you make me do it. I got that down pat.
Oh wait, no, I was expecting you to say the numbers. That's what it was.
Oh, no.
No.
I just say 909-C-Strike. I will never know those numbers.
All right, and Pete, how can they find the PS Nerds?
Can I see Pat Wood?
You can. I don't know what I have no idea what the area code is.
I think it's 909 Pat. No.
That's ours, isn't it?
I think they have a California one, too.
I have
I
no
don't
idea
know.
what our
It's
area
something
code is.
Fat Wood.
Yeah, it's something Fatwood. Just try every area code. Fatwood.
Just call numerous numbers.
Yeah. Or psnerds.com or iTunes. Search for PS Nerds, of course.
Yeah. So Yeah.
And soon enough, you'll be able to find us someplace else. I don't know if we're ready to announce that yet, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's it for Critical Strike at Funspot. The first time Kyle and I have met, and the first time we have also met Pete Dodd.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No
gentlemen.
problem. You were by the chair, and we made you sit down.
It's very
Well, I made you sit down.
Hopefully tonight at the cabin we're going to get everybody else's impressions.
Yeah.
What they thought of Funspot and everything. But for now, that's it for Critical Strike.
All right.
And, for other nifty podcasts, check out PlatformNation.com. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Suckers.
Bye.
Bye.
So, podcast listener, longtime listener, Sneaky Turtle Egg, has wondered what all the first-timers thought about their first experience with the Funspot. So, Nancy, what do you think?
You're an asshole.
Yep. Yes, I am.
I don't know. I
You might want to
What?
speak up a little bit.
Oh, alright. I don't know, I thought it was cool. I was kind of intrigued by the layout. The flow was different than I thought, but there were a lot of cool games there that I like to play, especially ones with tickets that you can find out,
Find the secret
find
to.
the secret to,
and
and then hit
steal
the
all the
jackpot
tickets.
over and over again. And more importantly, the fact that Burger Time was on. It's fantastic. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of it.
But seriously, like, when everybody walked in on Friday,
I was overwhelmed.
everybody just went like,
There was too much. It was way too much. It was like the first night you just had to take it all in.
And just walk around.
Yeah. And then decide what your plan of action was for today.
what's my poison?
Well, there's so many different things you can do. I mean, you can play, like you said, those ticket games. There's a whole level almost for the kids.
Yeah.
Bumper cars, anything you can imagine is in there.
I don't think one of those could have supported my weight.
By the way, Kyle, as somebody who's doing the intro, you might want to introduce the other people.
All right. With us is Rich. I don't.
Richie Rockballs, Dick Dorkler.
Yeah.
Richie Rock.
That's interesting.
But it's like 1:30 in the morning anyway, so...
Many beers in, right?
Yeah, many beers. Mr. Dodd and Danger Wife went to bed.
They have since departed.
Yeah.
So, what did you think, Rich?
I mean, I love the classic arcade games that they had upstairs. A lot of them are sucking away my tokens, though. I don't know if you guys experienced that, but
Oh, we did.
a lot of
Yeah.
I had my
games
first
were-
experience on, what was it, Street Fighter?
Street
Is that what
Fighter?
we played? No,
There's no
what did we
Street
play?
Fighter.
No, Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Oh,
Double
Double
Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah. that's
We
my
just
first-
kept pumping tokens in.
That and Contra. And Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, some of the games there, I didn't know that they had them in arcade form. You know, in cabinets.
Well, like the Nintendo Play Choice 10.
Yeah.
You know, and that's basically just a cabinet with 2 screens, an NES.
Yeah.
You know, it has,
Is that what's in
it
there?
has, well, it's not, an NES, but it has 10 NES cartridges within it. And you get to scroll through, and you're given X amount of time to play whatever you want in that time. So you can scroll from game to game.
Oh, see, I didn't even play that one. I saw that cabinet. I guess I should have. You should have told me earlier.
But there's just so much.
Yeah.
Anyways, the one disappointment, I guess, of the weekend is no Hydro Thunder for Mr. Dodd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And going to the Jersey Shore style arcade down the strip to see that. Nothing at Funspot.
It was there in June. They cycled it out because I had to go ask the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, we just took that out, and I was like, well, go get it.
Really? What do they do with all those cabinets?
They have a warehouse that they cycle them out once a month. Generally, they'll be like, okay, nobody's been playing this one. We'll take it out. We'll put another one in its place.
They should just build another room and put all that stuff in it.
There has been talk about another floor. Plus, what I've heard also is a hotel section. Is one thing that they're talking about. Because they're talking about closing down the outdoor mini golf because that's only useful 3 months of the season, 4 months of the year. And if they can put like a hotel section in or another floor, because they also want to add a museum as well.
tell you, the place is super affordable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, I was being very, I wasn't being thrifty in the least. And $60 is all I spent on games. Losing tokens, throwing them in any machine I could possibly imagine. I mean, $60 for 2 days, almost.
Yeah, seriously.
Was that just games, no food, or
That's
booze?
just for games.
Yeah.
That's all we spent. Between me and the wife, I should say.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that.
Bowling.
Hmm?
Yeah.
It's good
Bowling
stuff.
was definitely fun.
Well, only because you won, right?
Real bowling
No.
was fun. Fake bowling kind of sucked.
Oh, fake bowling. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
You and your crazy New England candlestick,
Candlepin.
whatever.
Candle pin.
Candle pin.
Oh, it was killing me every time somebody called it candlestick or candlestick.
You'll see that in the Midwest.
Dude, you know the game's crazy if Kyle beat me.
I say it's good then.
No.
Kyle handles little balls better than you do, apparently. Back on the shit list.
Can't help it. Sometimes you just like the big balls better.
Thanks, Nance.
Yeah.
You really know how to go for the heart and the throat.
Sadly, we couldn't get everybody else's impressions, though, because Game of Street Fighter busted out, and I didn't want to interrupt it.
Oh, you should have.
Nah.
That would have been fun. I know Pete mentioned it. I didn't know if you were serious about it earlier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sneaky turtle, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully the audio quality for all this is good enough for no release. I don't know how this is going to work out. We're not the fanboys.
No.
We don't do this professionally.
Yeah. But either way, anybody else got any closing things?
I don't know. I enjoyed myself. I'm glad I came. I mean, it was worth what I drove. How many hours? 12. It's going to be a total of one full day of driving, 24 hours. But
Kill myself.
Yeah, man, I'm close. I'll be 20 hours.
yeah, it was worth it. It was fun. And I'll definitely come back sometime.
Same time next year.
Hmm?
Maybe.
First weekend of August.
I'm down.
Maybe.
Maybe. Alright, I guess that's it, Kyle.
Okay. Well, those were two final thoughts on the first impressions of Funspot. And that's it.
Don't you count?
I already spoke my piece earlier. I was disappointed that there was no Street Fighter. But I played to my heart's content tonight, so... Huh?
Go.
Well, that was it.
Alright.
Played a lot of 90s arcade games that I love. Wish they had a few more.
Yeah, but it's a retro arcade.
Yeah.
It's not... I mean, that one down on the Weirs Beach Strip had, Guitar Hero and...
Yeah.
But that's not what I was looking for. I just wanted, like, the not old school, but, like, the 90s side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
Well, you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons.
They have
Which we
X-Men.
didn't get
play.
to, but we'll get to that tomorrow.
Okay.
They have a whole row of pinballs.
They do indeed.
But alright, that's it.
Alright.
See everybody later.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.